So here we are with episode 3 of Whisper Me, a Love Song. Last episode, Yori confesses to Kino that she likes her, and not as a like for a friend or a fan, but a romantic sort of feeling. And Kino is very confused about this because she doesn't really understand what romance or the idea of like is. And some of you have mentioned that with the way Kino feels, it does feel reminiscent of Bloom Into You, and I totally get that. Although I remember when I first read that chapter, which you guys can like watch me, because I did record the first few chapters of this on a video. I wouldn't recommend watching it, but it is on video. But when I remember when I first read that chapter where Kino's just like, I don't know if our like are the same or our like are different, I felt like, not a sinister tone, but I felt bad. Like, I felt like, oh no, like drama incoming during that time. And then I kind of just never continued reading it. I never just picked it up, but for some reason I continued buying the volumes. Anyways, we're just gonna have to see what this episode has in store for us. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access on the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. Oh, we're back right at it. But it's not the same love. I said like in the beginning. Whoops. I suppose you'll have to find out. Yeah, we would just casually say I love you to each other. Just two gals. And then I'm in love. No, I just love him. Yeah, I love him as a friend. I like these uniforms they've got. A little turtleneck sleeve. Your love is different from mine. Sounds like a very ace thing to feel. Ooh, maybe you can try and experience it yourself, huh? Damn, dude, she really swept you off your feet, huh? So, I had a friend asking me about this anime, and I described this anime to her as two girls trying to outriz each other. Do you agree with that description? Look at all those shapes in the sky. Oh. Not even listening. The episode? No. You won't even tell me how your date went. Oh. And now you won't tell me about it. Was she that tall before? I guess she is. Actually, no, I think Kino's just that short. Not the other way around. She already did it. 300 times. Your cheeks would be red by now. Teacher, can you please explain this, how I'm going to be able to use this in my real life? Like when I graduate and become an adult, what am I going to be using with these math formulas? What did you tell her? Just giving you time to think. Oh, what's that feeling you got, Miki? The simplest way to put it. Alright, now imagine it with Miki instead. Do you want to Some people figure it out through that way. Even if two people love each other, they still break up? 2 weeks later. Huh. Just transitions like that? Fade to white while the screen goes into the corner? Sorry, I'm waiting for my I'm waiting for my kohai to come and answer my confession. Sure. She's been like that all day, huh? Oh, it's after school? Oh, we're just fading like that too, alright! The transitions. She's busy thinking about it, alright? She's giving you full thoughts. What if she didn't have a reply for you, huh? Because she's not here to listen. Oh! Oh, here's Kino. Give me more time. I was just thinking, I'm like, you're all sad before, but now... How many of these backgrounds do you guys have of all these, like, particles and hearts and everything? Been waiting for you? Sorry, I'm not listening. Oh! Yo, that was a scary 3D model that just passed with their 3D scooter. Then buy one. What the fuck is these transitions? Do you want to do it again? It's the same feeling as Yori. That date was fun. Maybe I should just go out with her. I think you should be upfront with your feelings about that. That's the whole point of getting into a relationship. I mean, Aki also told you that, like, she and her ex was in love, but they still broke up either way, so, like... That's the second time that cat went flying. Sugar in your brain. That's gonna be a little longer. Of course, your dad is on business trips. Love like your parents? I wonder where you get all that love from, huh? Ooh, the sweets that she just that she needs. Wow. High school sweethearts. Oh. Still kind of. Just like me. We've been lovey-dovey ever since, and now he's on business trips. I don't know. I don't know. He asked her out and she said no, and he kept persisting. I don't... God, that cat. Cat and feet. That is certainly the internet. Ooh, tomorrow, huh? Your honest feelings is that you don't know. Oh my god, that transition. They're really keeping me guessing with that transition, you know? You think that's gonna be back in that corner again, but no. You know, it was on the left side and then it went on the right side again. Very much like I animated manga panels. She doesn't look short in that part for some reason. Probably that angle. Oh, the inside of her skirt is blue, and the inside of Kino's skirt is red because of the color for their year. Are we getting left in a cliffhanger? Hold on. Oh no, 17 minutes. It could. What was that pose that Yori was doing? But you technically are. You're like, if I do fall in love with you, we could go out. Have we heard an orchestra this whole time? I kind of felt like we've just been hearing pianos. Of course. You would just reject me. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, the rainbow. Oh. Mm-hmm. Damn. Oh, damn, dude, look at those fucking flowers in the back. Oh shit, dude, she's serious. Oh god, we're fading into white again. You know, that fence? I feel like the first time I've seen that one. Because, like, usually in other anime, when they're just on the rooftop, the fences are just regular fences. They don't have, like, barbed wires on them or anything. Gotta keep at it, and you're also gonna be joining the Light Music Club. That's what she wants you to do, huh? Alright, here comes Yori. Shiho Izumi, that's the person. Ah. She must be one of the girls we see in the opening. Give me more time to work on her. Nah, dude. Kino's working on her right now. Yori asking to join the band? Oh my god, there's a ghost in the room. Spooky. Oh. Okay, I accidentally spoiled myself yesterday because I was on my Discord, which you should totally join if you haven't. But there's like anime spoiler forums on there and all that. But I went onto the Whisper Me Love Song forum, and somebody was saying that episode 3 has a lot of static. And for some reason, I thought they were talking about episode 2. So I was just like thinking about episode 2, and I'm just like, oh, I haven't really seen a lot of static stuff. But they were talking about episode 3. Now here I am on episode 3. I'm just like, oh, I get it. I get what they're talking about. But I did kind of mention in the last episode, the way that they do it is a little stylish. So, like, even though when they do those sort of static, where, like, it's, like, manga panel style of static, I think it's still fine. It's, like, stylistic in its own way. So, I do like that that's what they do. But, like, what the hell is going on with all these freaking transitions? They just love that transition. And they're just like, we're gonna use it 8 out of 10 times this episode. Jesus Christ, dude. Alright, well, I was gonna go into story time for a second there, but I'll do that once we get right back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 3 of Whisper Me a Love Song. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty nice episode, it continuing on after Yori's confession and Kino's going through her own little journey trying to figure out what the heck love is, and we see how she felt like, love used to be a synonymous thing, right? I love you, you love me, but then she starts to find out that there are different types of love, and she never really understand the love that these people are talking about specifically, like the romantic sort of love. And what I did mention in the beginning, right? It does feel like an ace thing to feel. But who knows, right? Maybe she's just a late bloomer. A lot of people can be like that too. We'll just have to see for Kino. And what we learned from Kino is that through her mom, it's okay to wait. Her dad had asked her mom out in the first year, but then she didn't really like him. So then... but then they finally go out in the third year, which I'll have to go through that scene again. But, Kino hears that and she's just like, okay, so like this confession doesn't mean that it's the end all be all, right? I'm just gonna be straight out with my feelings. And that's where we are currently, right? That Yori is happy that Kino is willing to think about this and is willing to give her even just a crumb of a chance. And then they can continue on with their normal stuff, which is to meet up on the roof every single day. So, there's that. And also, again, with what I mentioned in the last episode, right? Kino's literally the reason why Yori is suddenly all active and, like, productive and everything. She didn't want to join a band, but now that Kino is here, and she's just like, how do I win over Kino's heart now? Right? I told her that I'm gonna make her buckle, I'm gonna make her buckle for me. I told her to buckle up because I'm gonna make her fall for me. What do I need to do? Well, Kino said that she would love to see you in the band again, so here is Yori. We also got to see a bit of a mention of Shiho Izumi. I might have an idea on who that is, but she was the singer, but she left all of a sudden, and then she joined another band too. Like, damn, dude. Holy shit. So, I presume we're gonna see her because, again, I think she is in the opening. So, there's that. Here we are in the beginning with Kino figuring out what even is love, right? We go back to her little childhood where this one girl says that she loves her and Kino responds back with, I love you, and it all made sense because they were all very much synchronized with each other, I love you too. All right, that's it. It's a normal response for her. But then as she enters middle school, which again, dude, this middle school has such a nice uniform. I fucking love this uniform. It's mainly because of the fucking turtleneck extension that they got. It's fantastic, dude. And as a person who mainly wears black, I appreciate the black on gray appearance that this uniform has. But yeah, here in middle school, she finds that there's a different case of love, right? This girl is in love with Kataoka-kun, and then she's just like, well, I love him too. But then the other girls is like, what? You want to go out with him? And Kino says, no, I don't want to go out with him. I just, we were just friends. And so this girl's just like, okay, so our love are different. So I suppose maybe this is the part where Kino starts to realize, yeah, they're literally showing us that this is the part where she starts to realize that her love is very different from other people. At some point, everyone started finding a different kind of love than me. And then we're showcasing a heterosexual and a homosexual couple. But as everybody started finding that different kind of love, she realized that she never felt that kind of love. And here she is, suddenly having this sort of love, not shoved in her face, but suddenly appeared, right? Like a jump scare, but like a jump scare confession. So here's Kino trying to figure it out, right? It's all right in front of her and she has no idea, and then this is the opening. Okay. After the opening, we see Kino and Miki. I think I might have said Aki instead of Miki the last time I mentioned her, because I got myself a little confused. Anyways, Kino is very much spaced out. She didn't even tell Miki about the date or anything, and Miki is a little worried for her. And just from this shot right here, this is probably why I was very surprised when I saw that how tall she actually is, or how short Kino is, technically. Sometimes when I think about these whole thing in like Japan and everything, like I remember watching this Japanese drama, which I currently can't remember the name of, but I remember enjoying it. But the one thing that I thought about was, wow, our main girl, she is shorter than everybody else. Like everybody else looked like fucking basketball players compared to her. That's how short she was. But I initially thought, wow, everybody's really tall because, you know, we have a point of comparison, which is the main girl. But then I realized, wait, no, she's actually just very fucking short. Everybody is like, perhaps slightly taller than average. But because she's like shorter than average, like everybody look fucking taller than her. And so that's what I kind of assume here in the anime, right? That Kino is just shorter than most people. I was going to say maybe it's the angle, but I don't really think that there's an angle. It's just that the moment she does this, right, and claps her cheeks and everything and gets her to look up at her, I was just like, whoa, Miki really is that tall, huh? And I completely forgotten how tall she really is. Also, she probably can't even barely see her eyes. Her hair and forehead is just in the way. Alright, I got distracted looking at these two over here. A girl with fucking thick rim glasses. And then this dude who's just got hair over his all over his fucking face. Yo, dude, those two in the background, what the hell? This girl's thick rim glasses distracted me on the fact that Yori is also wearing glasses. Although, have we seen her wearing glasses before? I can't remember. So I love her a lot, but I love you too. And then Miki's just over here like, oh, okay. And then she just starts touching her hair. You know what, Miki? You wouldn't be Aki's sister if you didn't have some sort of one-sided feeling, but maybe that's just me jumping the gun because they're sisters. So once Miki gets her bearing, she says that makes sense. I've never heard you talking about having a crush or anything. I don't get what it means to love someone that way. That's a tricky one. Do you ever think I want to make her mine? So, like, the whole thing, like, do you want to kiss or hug her? Kino's just over here embarrassed, you know, just thinking about it. So, I don't know, maybe even that reaction. Maybe you do have some sort of feelings underneath. Which is why I said, have you considered thinking about that for Miki? It could get you to realize your feelings, who knows? Maybe, or it could just confuse you even more, I don't know. Look, there are plenty of people who decided to give dating a shot even if they don't love the other person. Okay, so that's what Miki said. I will say I was very distracted this whole episode, so like a lot of dialogues kind of just flew past, but for some reason I still kind of figure out what they were talking about anyways. Yeah, so they went to date even if they're not in love. They date? Yeah. Is that even allowed? So like that just makes it even more complicated for Kino. So what about you? You dated your boyfriend in middle school. I did, but she covered her mouth. I went out with him because I liked him. That's a tiny hand compared to that face. I knew it. I remembered it back then. You seem so happy, so she blocks her from saying it anymore, right? Be quiet. But still, we both loved each other and we still ended up breaking up. The point is that there are plenty of ways for people to date. Is there really? Yeah, there is. And there's no right answer. You've got loads of options here. Okay, just really fucking loading her up with options. Don't let yourself get hung up on the idea that you should go out with her if you love her. And you shouldn't if you don't. Okay, yeah, so Miki's just coming in and is just like, just fucking do it. Just do what you feel like you should do, but also, like, I'm gonna overload you with all these other options, even though you're confused right now, so, like, I'm gonna give you even more options. There are people who can date when they're not even in love with that other person. Ooh! Very fun. Oh shit, is this our first transition? Right into the corner, dude. That transition is so fun. Okay. So, in the next scene, we've got Yori, who is just waiting, right? She's waiting for the confession. She heads on up to... Oh, also, yeah, this is a second transition that we've got. Whee! Okay, so... Why this transition in particular? Because I was thinking about how, like, they did this transition maybe to, maybe to like switch to the next scene, which I guess it kind of is because the next scene is just Yori alone. So I guess that is a scene transition, but like they really didn't need this part. Like they could have just kept it with her eyes, right? They didn't need this image going into the corner and fading out and then hitting us with this part, right? They didn't need us, they didn't need to hit that because like the transition could have already been from the sky and like the camera panning down. Anyways, you know what? Whoever edited this, they really like that transition, so can't blame them, I guess. But here is Yori, seeing that Kino's not on the roof, you know, figures she wouldn't come. She hasn't really texted her. She's not here after school. Yori's freaking out. I apologize in advance if I'm like mixing up names. They're all sounding the same to me because most of them all ends in I. Just as I said they all ended in I just realized that the new girl's name that we said, the girl who quit the vocalist and joined the other band, her name is Izumi. So like, that's also another fucking character whose name ends with an I. Also starts with an I, but Jesus. I did make mention last episode that there's a lot of these sort of backgrounds, right? They're not really static, but they kind of are, right? The particles are moving, but I suppose, you know, but there's a lot of these sort of backgrounds, and like you kind of notice them in the last episode and also a little bit in the first episode as well. But like here in this episode, they really put out more of it, and like a lot of it is being uplifted by the voices when we're just having these sort of screens. And then we have like these, you know, these sort of manga panel style, which is fine, you know. I'm totally fine with, you know, it's in its own way, stylistics. But we do have Yori who's freaking out about the fact that Kino hasn't given her an answer and she's regretting leaving her behind to let her stew on her own answer instead of trying to rip it right out of her during that moment. But as I said, right, it's a good thing that you've given her time to think about it instead of eking an answer right out of her. As Yori feels down about herself, she gets a text from Kino, and Kino basically just says, "Give me more time, and once I've got my answer, I'll go meet up with you on the rooftop." You know, just from that text, suddenly Yori is happy again. Of course, just a girl in love, right? Look at these backgrounds, dog. You know, in case you didn't like that background, here's this other background for you. Y'all need stock images. Anywho, Yori plans to walk home, but she meets up with Aki, who's waiting for her. And as Aki's just talking, yapping, and Yori's just in her own thoughts, we see Yori finally goes and says, "I asked Kino out, and now I am waiting for her answer." And Aki is just sort of like, "Well, shit, fuck, you did it, you know, good for you, I'm happy for you," she says while gritting through her teeth, in her head anyway. She can't grit through her teeth. She can't grit her teeth in front of Yori. Hearing that news, Aki, you know, it's about to feel a little sad, but immediately jumps right into being happy, and she's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go get some frappes, I guess." I could kill for a frappe right now. Just from this simple interaction between these two, you just see their relationship, you know, the way that she's just like, "Oh, you know, I could kill for a frappe right now. Come on now, Yori." And Yori's just like, "Okay, you know, go get one then. Buy one." And then she just drags Yori with her. Is this considered hover hand? Oh shit, I just realized. This is another transition. Oh shit, but it's not in the corner. It's on the left side of the screen. Whoa. I spent the whole time since my conversation with Miki thinking about how to reply to Yori. Okay, I still don't really get romantic love. Still, that date was really fun. So then Kino's just like, "What if I just go out with her anyways? You know, that day was really fun. I want to do that every day." And I say, Yori did mention last time she thought the day was fun too. She wants to do it all the time. Although I'm not really sure about all the time, but you know, sometimes you need a little space from each other. But as she thinks about how maybe she should go out with her because she thought that the whole dating was fun, she starts to wonder, well, if she did start going out with her and she never ended up falling in love with her, what would their relationship be? They're going to ruin their relationship if we broke up because of that, right? That's not good. But Miki did also mention that two people falling in love with each other does not mean that that relationship will last, right? Miki and her boyfriend still broke up even though they love each other. What would happen to my relationship with her? Well, it really depends, you know? Is it a messy breakup? You know, y'all could still be friends. It's just gotta be a lot of mending afterwards, but... And then I think this is the second time this cat went flying. Alright, this cat's on her head as she thinks, should I turn her down? I don't want to hurt her feelings. I can't make up my mind. Yeah, and then off the cat went flying again. Okay, so she plans to go down to grab some sweets, to which she hears her mom calling on the phone with her dad, talking about how it's going to be a little longer for his business trips. I'll cook you up a feast when you get back. Okay, so here's Kino watching her mom being very lovey-dovey with each other, right? Oh, I love you too, good night. Yeah, you and your dad are lovey-dovey. Well, yes. I love your father a whole lot. What a unit her mom is. Like, why is she so tall? Like, no, it's Kino who's short. It's Kino. So, find someone wonderful, but that might make your father jealous. Who is it? I heart Kima. Or, sorry, I heart Hima, not Kima. Who's trying to steal my sweet Hima-chan? Okay. Typical father behavior, I suppose. And so this is when she asks, how did you and dad started dating? Okay, before I get into this part, from the way that her mom acts, right? If that's the sort of the way that she acts with her dad, right? All lovey-dovey. It makes it understandable why Kino is able to just go and say, I love you, because for the most part, she's imitating her parents. Right, and if somebody says I love you, well, you say I love them, I love you back, and then she sees the love that her parents has, and she's just kind of, and she kind of just puts that on herself. It's just like, okay, this is sort of the love, but like she still didn't understand what her parents' love is specifically, I would presume. Or like she thinks of her love for her parents. It's like the same as like the love for everything else that that translates over. So. Understandable on like this is why Kino would be if this is her parents. Okay, so getting into the dad and mom dating story. Back in our first year of high school, your father asked me out. Oh wow, you've been dating for that long? Nope. We didn't start going out until the summer of our third year. Which also goes back to, wow, you've dated for that long? Oh my god, dude, Kino is like 15. It's been 15 years. And like, if we're not saying that like after you got out of high school, like he impregnated you or anything, right? Like, if that's not what happened, and like you guys had like, all the way up to like college years, and you guys, and then you guys had Kino and whatnot, that's a long time. Even if you didn't go out with him in the first year of high school. Yeah, we didn't start going out until our third year. Kino is confused. We were good friends, but when he asked him out, I didn't particularly love him, so I turned him down. But your father was persistent, and he kept pursuing me. Did you ever think about going out with him even though you weren't in love? Well, I was concerned that if it didn't work out, it would make things awkward between us. So it's the same feeling that Kino is feeling right now. Just like me! Then, during the summer of our third year, the two of us went to a festival together. It was then that I realized I really did love him. We've been lovey-dovey ever since. Oh my god, dude, this story really makes me it really makes me think about all these other stories that like kids would hear from like their grandma or like their mom, and like how they first met their dad, and like their dad is like extremely fucking creepy. It's like, oh, your dad just kept asking me out, and I said yes, and now here we are. Like it'll be like some fucked up story, and like they talk about it like it's a romantic thing. Now, I'm not saying, I'm giving the dad the benefit of the doubt that maybe her mom did the same thing as Kino, where it's just like, all right, I don't really love you, but like, yeah, maybe there's a chance or something, maybe she was giving him a bit of a chance, and that's why he pursued and he persisted. and then they finally gathered and they fell in love and whatnot. You know, if that's the benefit of the doubt part, that Kino's mom was like fine with it, and that's why they were friends still, right? They would continue to be friends and all that. So like, again, maybe she was fine with his persistent and all that, but as I mentioned before, you know, if you ask somebody out and then they tell you no, that's it, right? No need to continue, be persistent about it. And it's just like, oh yeah, if you continue to be persistent, that girl who said no to you like 2 years ago, she will eventually say yes if you whittle her down for the next 2 years. Am I right? Like, yeah, this story was I don't know, maybe romantic, I suppose. All right, putting another benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe he just continued to be really good friends. And then they just happened to go out to the festival and she realized that he likes... Again, you know, this could be possibly a romantic story. She's leaving a lot of details out, but she seems to be very lovey-dovey and in love with her husband. So, you know, that's fine. That's whatever. Okay. It does remind me of the first time I met my friend back in high school. Well, I mean, I knew him in like classes and all that, but it kind of makes me think about like, you know, it's really weird that like there are dudes who do some creepy shit. And then you'll just be like, okay, that's totally fine, because how I first really talked with my friend, became like friends with my friend, it was because he kept calling my phone. I did not have his phone number. He kept calling my phone because he got my number for somebody else. And he kept calling at midnight. Just imagine, you're just some girl in high school, and this phone number that you've never seen before started ringing at midnight, and you're just like, oh, who's this person calling me at midnight? I'm not gonna fucking answer them. And then the phone keeps ringing. It rings 5 or 6 times. All right, by ring I mean it kept calling. The caller kept calling. And like, I was so fucking anxious and scared because I was like, who the fuck is this person? And you know, back in those days, I probably should have just like gone to my brother and get him to answer it for me. But I finally decided to answer because this person just keeps ringing me. And lo and behold, it was a person that I knew from class, and he was calling me for some fucking reason because he wanted to talk and he was just out on a walk to 7-Eleven or something. And so I'm like, bro, you just wanted to talk to me at midnight and you're calling me 6-7 times before I fucking answer your goddamn call? It is creepy when I think about it. It is some creepy shit. But hey, in the end, he ended up becoming one of my best friends. And longtime friend, right? I've known him for over a decade now. It's kind of crazy that that's really how our initial relationship started, but it's like, it's weird. And so it makes me think about that sometimes. It's that weird persistence. I don't know. Anyways. So after that enlightening talk with her mom, Kino now knows what to do, and here we are at this moment where Kino tells Yori that she doesn't love her the same way that she does, but she wants to continue the relationship the way that it is, and maybe if she eventually falls in love with Yori, they could go out for realsies, right? Giving her a bit of a chance, right? Okay, so yeah, she does say, yeah, I love you, but not in a romantic way. And then Yori's just gonna be like, ah, shit! I figured. It's not in a romantic way. So it is in a romantic way? Alright. The thing is, I don't actually understand what romantic love is, right? I love that she's being honest with herself about that. So what I'd like for us is to spend more time together. And if I ever start feeling that kind of love for you, we can go out. Okay. So that's why Yori is just like, you're saying that you're giving me a chance. So that's why I said benefit of the doubt on like Kino's mom and dad, is that maybe if Kino's mom said something similar like Kino here, you know? Okay, understandable. But if she just straight out said no, I mean, all right, I'm gonna stop talking about that. Okay, I was just going through this part of the dialogue where Kino was crying because she felt like if she were going out and she'd hurt her because she couldn't reciprocate her feelings, and then that would ruin their whole relationship. And then here's Yori talking about how she was terrified that Kino would reject her and their relationship would fall apart as well, right? The both of them have the same fear that their current relationship is going to break. So I like that, the both of them are just talking about that, their fears and everything. And then a bunch of mumbo jumbo happens towards the end, and Yori is now a part of the band. Congratulations. So we are going to get into this whole band stuff in the next episode, I would presume, so that will be fun. I just realized I do not have my other ring. I'm not flipping you off, but I have not been wearing my middle ring this whole time. I was wondering why my middle finger felt a little naked. Anyways, distraction over. As I said, I thought that this was a nice episode. We've got all these transitions. That's just there. So like fucking good, I suppose. They're saving up on the budget maybe for more of the band playing stuff. We'll just have to see. But all I know is that I hope that this is the only episode where we get those corner and like fade to white transitions. I just want it to be this episode only, so I'd just be like, why did you do this? But I feel like now that the editor has tasted blood in the water, they're gonna continue using this transition. Who knows? We'll just have to see. But if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.